All right. Hey, welcome everybody. So today we are going to be talking about how to negotiate for better price in multifamily space. And it does start on the underwriting side, but it's really about painting a picture. Um, like understanding the story. So, in today's market, a lot of people that are selling are distressed sellers. And actually, I would say most of the times when people are selling, on some level they're distressed, right? Either they have another opportunity or that they need to get out because they're bleeding. Okay, so there's a couple, and it ranges from different scenarios from one end to the other in between. But understanding what that story is and looking at all the different points in which that happens, it's how do we tell, and how do we be able to tell that story? Hey, Rochelle, welcome. Okay, so as we are going, our text and email just went out for this call, so people will be hopping on, I'm sure, and maybe last minute notice. So sorry about that. But it's good. It'll be a more intimate session if it's just us. That would be awesome. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been on this call, so I'm glad to be back. And yeah, today we're gonna be again just talking about how to really determine how much we want to offer. Okay, so I'll give you guys an example right now of a distressed seller and and how to negotiate for better deals. So my partner, most of you guys know Sujay. Sujay is a partner of mine in the Deal Tank that we do on Saturdays, and he is an expert in the hotel space. He and I right now are starting a fund for it's gonna be somewhere between 100 million to 250 million dollar fund, and all of it is going to be institutional money. And right now we've just started the executive summary, and we're putting it together, and we already got $10 million commitment for 2 board of advisor seats, so it's pretty exciting. We've just recently learned how to put a fund together. So at some point, after I get some track record, some experience in that space, I will be teaching it and sharing it with everyone as well. But definitely funds are the way to go. Right now, most of us are thinking about buying properties through syndication, right? Because this is what we're being taught in the space. You look at a deal, you put it together, 80-20, 70-30 split, and you guys are the general partners. You have to raise capital from retail investors. So when I say real retail investors, I mean your average person that is investing money, right? For our fund that we're creating, and this is the direction where people go into as they get more experience, they start building funds. Either they're going to be creating funds to fund deals and still taking retail investor money, or you start moving into the institutional space. Right now, in today's economic conditions, retail is pretty hard to come by. Money is tight all the way around for everyone from top down, on the retail side. Institutional side, they're always looking for a place to place their money because they raise capital constantly. And their capital doesn't come from the traditional way that we raise money. Their capital comes from teachers' pensions. It comes from, different types of pensions, retirement funds, things like that, that people are putting money into already. And they need to put that money somewhere because they're promising returns. So there's so much money in there. Now, I do think our directions were, where we're going now. A lot of people are pulling their money out from the IRAs and 401ks, which is probably going to start making a dent in that space. But there's still so much. There's trillions of dollars in that space. And so they got to put the money somewhere. Who's going to be on the operation side? And this is kind of just me sharing what I'm learning before we get into the underwriting side. We're kind of just waiting for more people. Um, Funds, institutional funds, they're not really so much looking for the returns or the deals. They're looking for risk. They're looking to manage their risk. They're looking to diversify where they're putting their money. So they're looking at how a company is structured more than the deals that's actually available. That was a very interesting thing that I learned. And I learned that it's not just about the saving money in the funds, right? So what I thought was like, if we hired a CFO, somebody running, we save money and we'll give higher returns for our funds for the institutional investors. But nope, they want you to spend extra money to go and get third party audits and financial institutions to do your bookkeeping, accounting, all of that financial stuff, because they don't want you to be doing it inside. They're all about safety. They're all about diversing their risk, right? De-risking. So this is why you see private equity when they come in. And it's good to understand this, because when you start to do this on the other side, when you're bringing private equity in, it's good to understand why they come in that way. They come in and they do 13, 14% pref returns, right? They'll take 7% upfront for cash on cash, 7% accrued, and that's how they roll. And they don't want to participate in upside or downside because they don't want to be seen as an LP. They're not an investor in the deal. They're technically like secondary debt. So they'll take that income and they'll pay taxes on it. They're not even worried about the taxes. Now that gives retail investors opportunity, because the retail investor gets depreciation, more depreciation up front. And as we start to understand this game and see how bigger players play, we start to understand how to put deals together better that will benefit everyone. If we understand the intentions of all parties involved and what they want, then we can structure it in that way. And this is all part of like putting the piece of the puzzle together, understanding the big picture so that you can put it together. If you don't, you miss out on certain parts. Okay, so Zishan says what? Sorry, guys.
Yeah, he did the same thing I thought he did. Didn't click the select all. So I sent out a text though.
Okay, cool, cool. All right, so I guess people are just getting the text now. We'll see if people make it here you know, on a short notice like this. Hey, the call's going on right now. Um, right. So understanding the bigger picture and all the intentions and what everybody wants involved, it's the same thing you want to be looking at when you are making offers in the deal. When you're making offers in the deal, what does the seller want? What does the broker want? And what do you want? See, understanding what everybody wants, this is why a lot of times you want to hold on to your cards and hold on to the information you know. You do the underwriting, you find the picture, right? You understand what's going on, and then you go backwards. And when you start asking these questions, you're looking for inconsistencies in what the brokers are saying. You're looking for the story, because they're going to tell you, oh, they're just trying to get out and this and that. Now, at some point, when a broker knows that they can't BS you anymore, they will give you the real story. If they know that they're overpriced and like, yep. Sometimes I'll hear brokers tell me, yeah, that's what we've been telling the seller, that they're not going to get this price. They're overpriced. At that point, you now have their broker on your side. And how do we get to that? Right? This is the art of negotiation and the art of having these conversations with brokers. I've had conversation with so many brokers and talked to so many of them that I understand what they're doing. And most of them, they know that that a lot of the people coming in submitting offers are bullshit. They know that these guys people that are submitting offers don't have uh the capacity to close. They're not really taking them serious, but they're stringing them along because what they're looking for is LOIs so that they can pitch it against something else and someone else. So you'll often hear, oh, just submit the deal, submit the offer, submit the offer. Right now, rarely you'll hear from any brokers that will say, no, don't even bother submitting the offer. They're like, yeah, submit whatever, submit anything. Two things are happening. Either one, they want to take your offer to tell the seller that he is off his price, or they want to take it just to show that they're doing work, that they're getting things done. Either way, the broker, everybody wants to be right. Okay. This is a human conditioning that we can bank on, is that everyone wants to be right. The broker wants to be right. Whatever the broker has said to the seller, he wants to be right about it. So you want to build that relationship with the broker first, because you're not going to get to the seller. You need to break the you need to build that relationship, break that trust barrier or that mistrust barrier that the broker has. And then you start to paint that picture. So like I said, here's an example. And my this is from Sujay. He's selling a hotel right now. Okay. He basically, where he's at, and this is, think about how you how in order to get this story, right? If you were buying this deal from him, he's selling a Marriott hotel. How do you get this story? Ready? So Marriott requires you to renovate every so often. Okay, every 7 years or 10 years, something like that. That you need full reno. Even if your hotel looks immaculate, they require like full renovations, turning of the furniture and all that. They want new things in there because that's just what they want. That's their standards. Working with Marriott, being a part of their franchise, you have to meet that. So he has to renovate his hotel. And the bank decided that nope, we're not gonna, right now is not the time that they want to give a loan to do that. But he has already started the process. He already made the deposit and everything with the vendors. Money's already coming in. I mean, products are already coming in by the pallets. He's now like, okay, well, I got to act as the bank. So I'm going to charge my own property a small interest, 5-6%, to loan the money. And he's bleeding that money, that $1.5 million or $1.7 million he needed to do the renovations. He doesn't want to do that anymore, right? It's like so much liquid out of his own pocket. Him trying to save the deal, and this is part of being a GP, is when things like this happen, how will you save the deal? Right? They just bought the property. This was their projection. This is what they were going to do. They knew that was coming up. The hotel looks fine. Now, as a buyer coming in, you see a beautiful, nice hotel. You see the NOIs and everything. If you bought this property and then you realize Marriott is going to require you to do that, you have two options. Either you don't go with Marriott anymore and you go and break it and be a boutique hotel, or you go with somebody that's at a lower tier than Marriott. You're lowering your property. It went from a Marriott to something else. Now, I don't know what that process looks like, but to find this story out, like, how do we find out that he is distressed? And so the first thing is to just automatically assume that assume that everybody that is selling is distressed, and you're looking for the reason why. That's your first thing. Okay, because sometimes we get caught up in like, oh, this is a good deal, the numbers look good, but just assume that everyone's distressed. If you come from that place, you kind of control the narrative of the story that's being played out too. Now, newer people coming in, and I'm definitely somebody that has fallen for this also, is they'll give you, like, they'll create a fake urgency, like with the deal. Hey, we're only taking offers now. There's already a bunch or something like that comes up, and you need to get your offer in, or you need to do this. They're trying to get you to do something really quick. That's one way for them to tell how desperate you are. So the second thing is, like, who's going to be more desperate? Somebody's going to cave at some point. Somebody's going to cave and be like, yep, I'm more desperate. And you want that to be the broker. And once that breaks, the broker's going to tell you everything. He's going to tell you, yep, this is what I'm seeing around the in the other deals and other things that we're seeing in the market. This is me telling him that it's overpriced, all of that. But it begins with your underwriting. So is anybody not, because I see everyone like been in here and everyone has kind of done a lot of or been in a lot of calls, like understand underwriting. Is anyone not clear, like just on the basics of underwriting? I mean, Nick could probably run this if we start underwriting deals.
Hey, I did.
Yeah, you did. That's awesome. So what questions do you guys have? Where are you guys at? In terms of this, if you guys submitted LOIs, what have you guys seen? And maybe we could kind of start there.
Hey Alex, I just
Yep.
had a question. Me and Denise were gonna go look at a property a couple weeks ago, and the agent or the broker told her that he wanted her to sign a buy agent document. Have you ever
Mm.
heard of that?
Yeah, so he wants to make sure. So you want to read the document because those are another type. So this is this with like a smaller brokerage? What kind of brokerage is with?
I'm not sure. We were gonna meet up, and then she just sent me a text and had to cancel because she was just not sure about signing anything like that. So she's like, "Oh, let's ask Alex. Let's check
Yeah.
with other people first." So
Yeah. So you just gotta read it. Sometimes it's an NDA. Sometimes it locks you in as a that they represent you as a buyer. That's the
okay,
one that you don't ever want to sign. Those are smaller brokerages and smaller brokers will do that, and it's really annoying. They try to like trap you into something, and you get fined or whatever if you use somebody else because you signed
okay,
the contract. Like there's plenty of those, but they won't come from Marcus Millichap. They won't come from any of the name brokerages. Like any big brokerages, they're not going to be doing that.
okay. Yeah, it must have been a small one. I didn't check in further with her, but
Yeah.
yeah, I just
So,
wanted to ask first.
so they're those are and how what size is the deal? It's probably a smaller deal, right?
It's actually that peanut factory that we were talking about. I think you
Oh, the
know
peanut factory, it's back, dude.
it's
We've been
back
looking at the
on.
peanut factory for like years.
Yeah, it's back on, and she's still she wants that one, so she keeps looking in, and supposedly the seller is looking to sell now, but I don't know.
Yeah, where are they at with them with it now? I
It was
remember
still
at the time we were at like 16 or 15 something million.
yeah, when we underwrote it, it's about 15. They're
Yeah.
still at about 19 though, so
Okay.
yeah,
So
but supposedly through the broker. That's why we were gonna go look at it because they were talking a little more and might be coming down. So I'm not sure.
it's been a
We didn't
year
get that
plus.
far. Yeah,
Yeah. It's been a year plus. The peanut factory. That was it was cool. I really, really liked it. We went back and forth so many times on that deal with the broker. I don't know if it's still the same broker, but I like it. That's the deal. That's the deal in San Antonio, right?
yeah. I like it too. We walked it a while back, but that was beginning of the year, and supposedly they're ready to do something now. So we'll see.
Hey, look, I'm interested in it still. Like if you guys wanna like look into it more, I'm still interested in it.
Yeah, for sure. I'll reach out. I talked to her tomorrow, so I'll see where we're at on it, and then yeah, I'll definitely give you a call or see where once we find out what's going on.
Yeah. So it's a fun property. It's cool. I like the look of it. I like the story behind it. I think it's very unique,
Yeah, for sure. It's really cool.
the peanut factory.
Dude, I remember that. We were at the Denver conference when you were talking about that.
Is that where we were?
Yeah.
Was it at Rod's? It was at
It was at
Rod's.
Rod's. It was
It
at
was at
Rod's
Rod's. Yeah, we were super into that deal at Rod Cleve's conference last. Was it last year? Or a year and a half? When was
last year, last year.
what was it? Last year in July?
Yeah. About
Oh, like
around now.
exactly a year ago.
Yeah, a little more than a year ago, basically now.
Dude, I probably still have this thing in my underwriting in my stuff. I think I might have even done an underwriting call with the peanut factory on here on Thursday. I'm pretty sure I did.
I think you did.
Yeah, I did. I did. I did the underwriting call with the peanut factory. Oh man, that's fun. Well, so look, that's another way to look. Like we really want to find out. At the time then, I didn't really know, I just knew I wasn't going to be desperate about it. Right? I was like, I'll walk away, and we did. And it's still on the market. And at that point, they were bullshitting us, telling us there's so many offers in the 20. It was like, yeah, somebody has an offer in at 20 million or 19 and a half million. So if you can be anywhere around that, Otherwise, we're gonna just go with them. Like, okay, go for it. Right? It doesn't make sense. Like, I think, like you said, we were max at like 16. I remember somewhere in the 16 million for that deal. That would be the max. And at that point, I think it was me. Who was gonna go? Me, John Sedoti, Thomas Varghese, and Mike Bailey. We were gonna go into that deal together. That's cool. Oh, I'm glad that deal's still around. I don't know. Maybe in another year the seller will be more desperate. But so for that deal, I would look to see like, okay, so what happened? We've been following this deal for like a year. Get the story. You always want to find out what the story is and keep putting the pieces together. Now, one other way, so I said the first way, what did I say? The first way was to automatically assume that every seller is distressed. Okay, they want to sell for some reason. Like I'm selling a house in Henderson right now, and we're also selling a property in North Carolina. Both are under contract right now. And nobody say anything, but the seller could definitely get me lower by at least 50K on the house in Henderson. Okay, I mean, me being as busy as I was, forgot to renew our short-term rental license. And that property was generating $15,000 a month. It's a beautiful property. I love it so much. I'm actually, I don't really want to sell it, but we put it out there for 590, and I was willing to take 560. And I told my broker, I'm like, look, they offers come in, do not answer until Monday. Just say we're letting all the offers come in. I'm playing a game here. Anyone that's experienced knows that as a game that's being played. I'm like, do not answer him right away. Right. I told my broker, I was like, don't answer the deal right away. And tell him that we're considering a couple deals. We're not really like super interested in selling, but we are moving into only multifamily space. That's why we're letting go of our single family assets. Partially true. I'm not lying, but now that I don't have the STR on this thing, I've refinanced this property twice in 3 years. I put 125 in, I got 250 out, and it's still generating that type of cash flow. Now, the loan is, like almost $3,000 a month. If we don't do Airbnb on there, I'm gonna lose money every month. Like we'll rent this thing out for, I don't know, $2,200-$2,300 a month. I'll lose money every month. But, the buyer is not, they didn't try to play the game. You know what they offered? We told them, hey, just make your best offer. We're going to decide on something on Monday. I'm playing a game. And I told my broker to say that. They came in 615 or 610, something like that. I think it's 610. They put a 20,000 offer on top of my asking to get the deal when they really could get it for like 560, 570. Because on some level, I'm distressed with the property. Owning this property is not part of my plan anymore in the direction I'm going, right? Like managing this property is taking up the same amount of effort as me managing a 300 unit storage deal. So I'm distressed, like dealing with this property. And then I also didn't renew my Airbnb STR thing. What would this buyer need to do to do enough due diligence to find the story? Right? The buyer would need to know what are the possibilities. What did he do? Because they asked, oh, is this a good Airbnb property? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, here's our past 3 years of Airbnb income. I'm glad to show it because it looks awesome. But can they get another license when they buy this property? I don't know. Maybe they can, maybe they can't. I don't know. Everybody's Airbnb-ing now. You can't have an Airbnb within 1,000 feet of another house. I don't need to reveal any of this information to them. That's part of their job in the due diligence. But if they dug deep enough and they had experience enough, they would probably find that, okay, this seller is why is the seller getting out? You know, this is a question that Grant, Robert, Brad, everybody has, is why is the seller selling? And you can't ask the broker this question. You know, this is the mistake that everyone makes, is like everyone's just like, oh, the question to ask the broker is, why is the seller selling? They're going to tell you some bullshit that's not the reason. See, what our answer to them was, I'm in multifamily now. We're closing on a 30 unit in downtown Las Vegas, which we are. Everything is accurate. But still, why am I selling? If this is such a great property, why are you selling? All right. So, you know, that's just two examples. One is me, one is Sujay. Right? If you look deep enough. So one, assume that the seller is always distressed. Two, you can search debt, right? Find out how much is owed on the property. So here, I'll show you guys. So I use Property Radar and PropStream. These are two pretty good tools. Okay, so I do this for everybody in our mastermind group as well. Whenever they have a property, they're like, hey, can you look this up? Because we teach this. We tell you guys this is what we do. So let's just go look at if we look at any property, we'll look at search anything. Let's say the one that I'm living in right now. Do I want to tell my address to everybody? Whatever. So I wanted to buy this property. I'm renting it right now. But here we go. So this is another way to understand the picture. What do they pay for the property? You know, what is it? What do they owe? Right. So I'm just going to look. Okay. So yes, these are the people that own it. I go more into the information. I want to see, where's the transactions? So they bought it for 400,000. They got a loan purchase money. What is this? Is this their money down? Ramos, Natalia. Either they put 75% down, or they put 25% down. But let me see if they have any debt on this. Oh yeah, so they did. They put 25% down on this property. Their equity right now is 197,000. That means they have like 200 something thousand in this thing here. And they want, I think, 650 for this. This is 2021. So 2 years ago. 2 years ago, they want to make $250,000 in 2 years on this property. They probably, why would they want to sell? Right. So you first look at the debt and you can estimate. It's weird. Okay. I think it's 300. So their debt is probably somewhere in the 300,000. So if 300,000 in 2021, they probably have a good debt on this. So let's just kind of guess 300,000. See what their debt is, what they're paying. Times probably, I'm guessing, I would say like 3 to 4% is their let's just do 3.5% is their interest rate, plus principal. You know, this is not multifamily or anything, so they probably have principal. So we'll take, let's just say 4.7% total times 0.047. So they're, you know, divided by 12. So their loan is probably somewhere around $1,200 a month, plus insurance, plus whatever else they got to pay for the property. So how much do they got to rent this thing for? Like, I can tell right now, they're not really that distressed. Right? When we made the offer, they were like, not really. They're not listing it. Like, I'm trying to make an offer on this deal, on this property, without them listing it. Already, I put myself in a more desperate position, right? There's always like a balance. You can tell who's more desperate, who's not. And so coming after this property, I mean, maybe they will sell, they will entertain, but they threw a number like 650. I know I probably can't move them too much because they're not really that desperate to sell. So we're just like, okay, we'll just rent from you. And let's see. And by renting here, we also found that their main pipe is cracked. We're like, why is this thing always backed up here? Their main pipe is cracked. A bunch of things they had to fix and repair while we were here, which is great. It's like, okay, now they're starting to like bleed more and more, right? With different repairs and things like that. And now this pipe can cost them, it's a main pipe all the way to the main. So this could cost $12,000, $20,000 up, something like that. I don't know. Right, to repair that. There's a tree, there's a root that grew into it and it cracked a pipe. And this is like older. Now everything else is renovated, it's nice, but it's still cast iron out there. This is older. And so they got to go and replace all this. This is pretty long, from where the property is to the main line out there. So to do all of this, they will have to open it and do a whole bunch of things. Do they want to go and do this? Right? Now we have like more positions to stand on. So you want to find out as much information as you can. So one, assume that they're always distressed. Two, like he's moving. Okay, so one reason why he wanted to rent this property was because he's moving. His job is moving him to California. He wants to live here, but now he's got to go to California. California, he's got to get ready to pay a lot higher rent. Rent's going to be higher. Whatever he's doing over there is going to cost him a lot more money. So does it make sense for him to just sell this property? Yeah. We stay here for, we're going to be here for a year in February. We stay here for a year. We'll know all the ins and outs and the problems of this property. And now we can leverage. See, it's always about getting information. I'm not going to put myself in a position like, yep, 650. We love the house, 650. My wife loves the house. When we first saw it, she loves it. Like, this property is cool. It doesn't look like this. It's all redone, but it's cool that that's what it did look like when he bought it. Yeah, who else? So the peanut factory. Do you have the address of the peanut factory on hand, Jonathan?
I could get it. It's off Frio Street. I think it's like 989 Frio.
How do you spell that?
FRIO. Maybe
939 South Rio Street.
939.
939?
Yeah.
So what? Is it this thing? Okay. So they bought this thing for $16.9 million. They have their loan balance is $4 million. No. That doesn't make sense. Total loan balance. So they put 13.5 million down. Why would they do that? This is probably backwards. Oh, they did a refi? Huh? Sometimes it's confusing. Okay, so they put $3.38 million down. So they had a 13.8 million, $13.5 million loan. And what is all this? Assignment. Oh, this is so the loan was assigned to somebody else. These companies, when they give you the loan, they assign it to other places. So, okay, so this shouldn't say loan balance. This is probably the down payment. Or that's the equity, I mean, sorry. And so at least you know some things. Like you can also look up, let me use a different one. So I'm going to use prop stream. You want to find as much information as you can before you even talk to the broker. 939 South Frio Street. It's this whole thing, right?
Yeah, it's the whole thing. So I don't know why it's broken up
It
like
might
that.
have been broken into pieces though. There's a $14 million loan on there. Lien date. Huh? No, this is not right. Is this the right? This doesn't look like the right thing.
Click on the maybe that number 4 looks more like it. That looks like
This
behind it.
thing, no, it doesn't look like it either.
No,
Oh, it's
oh, it's
here.
in
This is
front.
it.
Yeah, there it is in front.
It's this
So
thing.
it's 4 and 2. Because you drive in off that street there.
It's this and this.
E-
It's this.
Or it's the 2. Looks like it's the
It's the
2.
two. No, this is so something's wrong here. I don't know. Can't really go off of this. This is not really telling us. You guys sure it's 939 South Frio Street, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because that's them in the front. Those are like those silos.
Yeah, I know this is it right here. Okay. Well, anyways, like these are two tools that you can use to find out information about the debt side. So, two, if you kind of understand the debt and where they're at, sometimes you can see that people are in trouble or they're not in trouble. And the other thing that you can do is you can look, obviously, would you sell if you didn't have any debt on that house? Oh, you're talking about my house? That wouldn't happen because I would not have debt on my house. Like what am I going to do with all that equity sitting in there? I will pull it out and do something else, which is why I refinanced on that thing twice. So it's just that's not a scenario in which I would have. And if you don't have debt on your house, I mean, this is also kind of for different people, different generations of people. Like if you're like much older and you're just like, I'm not really trying to excel or grow my portfolio or whatever. I just don't want to deal with stress. I want it to be fully paid off. I'm happy collecting a little bit of rent. Yeah, by all means, do all that. But if you're like, I'm trying to accelerate, I'm trying to leverage my money. The reason why you're in real estate, if you're going to grow in real estate, is you got to leverage. Leverage is the way to go. You leverage your property, then you leverage other debt, and your $100,000 right? So, this is a very simple understanding. If you have $100,000 and you bought something cash, 100K, and that property increased to, let's say, 120,000, you've made $20,000 of, if you sold it, you would make 20 grand on 100K. That's 20% that you made. Okay, cool. But if you spread it and you bought, you bought, what's it called? 5 properties at 20K, you put 20K down each property. You still have 100,000. You now have 5 $100,000 properties that you put 20K on. And if they all grew by 20K, you would have made 100%. Right. So the difference between 100% and 20%, you do it a couple times, it will be millions of dollars. Right. So that's the difference. I mean, when you're going from 20 to 80 to 100%, 80% difference is like monstrous. And that's why you leverage debt. All you need to do is control the property. So there's a lot of people kind of now saying, oh, what if we pay cash and bought the whole property? Grant has been kind of saying that a lot, and people are just kind of listening to it. He's not playing the same game as we are. He will go all cash on a deal because he's gonna get that $100,000 property for 72. He's instantly gonna make that return on day one, and then he's gonna refinance out of it. No way he's gonna leave anything with all cash. Or he's going to say, I'm going to come in all cash and show the proof of funds. And then when he's going into the deal, he's going to get debt for it. Because all cash is the same thing for him. Because he'll get the debt. He's got the money sitting there. He'll get the debt. That's fine. So, understanding what to negotiate. Obviously, those are 2 things. Always assume that the seller is distressed. I don't care what market it's in. Because even in a good market, they're still distressed because they want to get out at the height of the market and they want to sell. But if they're going to buy something else, see, the thing is, like, if they sell when the market is high, what are they going to do with their money? They're going to have to go into another property that they're going to have to overpay for. So selling in the, like, it just doesn't, why not refinance? Like, why sell? So that's kind of, you're always assuming that no matter what. You don't want to ever put yourself in a position where they think you're desperate, that they get the upper hand on you. And they do. Brokers are very good at doing that. They make you feel like, oh my God, you got to do this. You have no time to do it. Like, oh, if you don't got proof of funds, no, you can't even look at the financials. That's one of the fastest ways that they screen people, is like proof of funds. $20 million deal, show me proof of funds, and then you can get the financials. Actually, I don't even see that. Not on $20 million deals, like $3 million deals. That's when the brokers are playing games like that. On small deals, they're like, yeah, show me proof of funds, and then we'll give you financials. Like, what? Because they're not that driven either. They're not making a whole ton of money on that sale. But if you got a guy that's selling a $50 million asset, he's going to, work his butt off to be as professional as possible. He's been in the game probably longer. He sees a bigger picture. He's got a better mentor. And, so the way that he's going to negotiate with you is different. He's going to make you feel like you can trust him. So you're always playing this game. You got to know, and then you got to play the player. Right. There was, we did, I've been doing something that I'm going to try and get viral on social media. As I'm playing this game called, Guess the Wine. So for all my friends, like, I taped the bottle with everything, and we're like, especially to our wine connoisseurs, people that are like snobby with wine. So we'll buy a bottle of wine, we'll cover everything, and then we'll be like, okay, here, it's a test, right? Like, if you can guess what kind of vineyard, where does it come from, what year is it, what, is it oh my God, what are all the names, Merlot, or whatever, any of those things. So you guess, and then you guess the price of the bottle, so I go and I have this on video. It's gonna come out on my social media soon. Right, Nick? Because I sent all the videos.
Yes, it is. It's in progress.
Okay, cool. It's a really funny video. So I got this friend who's like such a snob. He's like doing all the little like snobby things with the wine and doing the sip and the gargle. And like, nope, this is not the, this is from this area. You just like, I'm guessing it's 2016. Just super funny with that. And so we brought it in and he did the same thing. And we had him guess. And it's $100 bottle of wine. And he's like, he didn't, he guessed like, he's like, no more than $40. He's like 1,000% is a Pinot Noir, like something like that. And it wasn't. All of it was off. And my trainer was there, and he was like, he made some jokes with it too. But he's like, it's Alex. I think it's $100 bottle of wine. Right? Like you play the player, you're not playing like what you think you know. So that's another part, like in relationship and when you're going after deals, you can play the player. Let me see where this broker works out of. Right? Like brokers are from smaller brokerages, no name brokerages. They probably don't have great mentors. You can speak to them a certain way. They're going to be full of shit half the times. Less mentoring. They're just trying to get deals done the way that they've done on their own. Trying to sneak in and trick buyers and things like that. Just like my boy who's selling my house for me. I'm like, I'm telling him what to do, but the buyer could probably pull this out of him because he's he works single family. He's not, he doesn't do a lot of deals, and he's with a small brokerage, like a no-name brokerage. Right? Like if I was buying from him, I would be able to tell. I would speak to him differently than if I was buying from somebody from, Berkshire. Or is that what Berkshire? Yeah. Because of the prestige of that, they're going to be mentored and they're going to speak a different way. But you're always playing the player too. Right? So you're assuming, again, we're assuming that all sellers are distressed. Two, we want to look at the debt to see like where they are financially. And sometimes we can tell they're struggling, especially if we underwrote and we know what the NOI is for the deal. So the NOI is your total income minus your total expenses before the debt. If you know the NOI is here at a certain number, based on some of the things they give you, numbers can't lie. And then all of a sudden, that they're upside down because the debt is higher. The debt is higher, and you can start asking, hey, why is the seller selling? You know the reason. But now you're in a position of power when you're negotiating because you have information. You wouldn't lead off like, hey, I found out that, what I'm seeing in my underwriting is that they're upside down and their NOI doesn't cover their debt and all of that. You wouldn't lead it like that. You want to find out, you're getting to know this broker. What's he going to say? And how full of shit he is. Like Grant always says, he's like, I don't care if you lie. I just want to know how far you'll go. And he always acts like he doesn't know anything's going on. He has all the information. He's just like, okay, well, tell me more about that. Like, why is that happening? I don't understand. Like, he's always like, I don't understand. He always says that. I don't understand. Now, it's also Grant Cardone. So if we were to be doing a deal with Grant, you study Grant. Right? You study Grant, you know what he's doing, you watch his videos. Now, if you're a broker, you know how to engage with Grant. Right? You're not going to BS because you're going to get caught up in some BS lie and you're going to look dumb. And then he's going to make you look dumb. And then he's going to tell everyone you're dumb and you're probably going to end up losing your job, right? So like these are things that you want to know on both sides. The more you know, the more power you have in the negotiation. It doesn't matter what side you're on. But the more you can think about the other side, what's their motivation? What's their intentions? Like, why are they selling? What's the broker's motivation? And how can you get the broker to trust you because the broker really is the closest person to be able to talk to the seller and get in the seller's ear. All right, so those are just a couple tips when you're negotiating. There's probably a lot more things, as we do live deals, we'll tell you guys. So for example, right now we just made an offer on the Downtowner, which is right across the street from the Vegas deal that we're closing. Right across the street, 125 units. It's awesome. Now, we know that the Tony Shea family, the Shea family is selling it. They're unloading all their portfolio. And I've been saying that this was going to happen deep in earlier last year, that this was going to happen. I was predicting it. I was like, look, they went, and I'm doing my homework. I'm trying to find out all the things about it. This is why I've positioned myself the way I am. This is why I've talked about Vegas the way I do, because they had just signed a company out of Los Angeles to manage their assets. And that company specializes in liquidation of assets. Right? Like if you don't look that far, you wouldn't even guess that that's going to happen. I'm like, oh, look at this. Now in my head, in my story, I'm like, okay, they're positioning all of their assets now to sell. And then what happens? They're kicking my friend out of one of the stores that she has in one of their properties because they're trying to reposition for sale. They're trying to make all the properties as expensive as possible and look a certain way. And I was like, all right, so they're probably going to release it in 2024. That's when I thought it was going to come out sometime around then. But 40% of the portfolio just got released, including this flagship property over there called the Gold Spike, which is right next to Fremont. It's an awesome gaming place. I actually just went there and I was shooting all these videos in there. The backyard is massive. And then right next to it is their hotel, 130 something units hotel. Huge property right there, like flagship property. It's going to be probably somewhere in the 25 to 40 millions. Okay. There's a lot of guessing, a lot of word on the street right now. But because we're making an offer on the Downtowner now, and then we also found out, we're always trying to find out information. That liquidation company spread his portfolio out to 3 or 4 different brokerages. So different brokerages got different properties and they're pissed off and they're pitted against each other too. They wanted they all made bids for the biggest portfolio for the whole thing and all that. And the Downtowner is actually the same brokerage logic as the Gold Spike. And so now you got these 2 property hotels coming out. And as we're building a good relationship with Kathy, who is, selling the Downtowner, Sujay's in the hotel space, right? We have a friend that was, we found out through a mutual friend that they were going to go in at 13 at full asking price, no hotel experience, because they're just they just know what's going on there as well. They just want to buy properties. And so we made the connection and we talked to them and we're like, let's do it together. Let's not compete on this thing. It was us 2 talking to Kathy, 2 parties talking to Kathy. And he's like, yeah, we have another buyer that's coming in. That's going to come in close to asking. And because of me always talking about Vegas and stuff, somebody introduced me to the other party that was interested. We went to a WNBA game together. They invited me to the owner's box suite up there. I met a whole ton of important people, including one of the singers from 98 Degrees was there. I don't know if anybody knows who that is, but it's Nick Lachey's group, probably one of the less popular guy. Maybe his name is Jeff. I forget. It's either Jeff or something. But yeah, and then we kicked it, and then I had him talk to Sujay. And Sujay was like, look, based on these numbers, I'm a hotel operator. I own 13 hotels, $130 million asset under management hotels. I know hotels, and these are not the numbers you want to go in on based on the numbers. Now, yes, we have foresight that it's going to be great, but you don't need to be paying 13.6 million. Let's go in together and offer 10.5. So now we've partnered up together. We have multiple phone calls where we feel like we're a good fit. Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff is his name. I don't know his last name, but Jeff is his name. He still looks like one of those Backstreet Boy guys. He just looks a lot more jacked. But yeah, he definitely looks like that. He looks like a combination of the boy bands and somebody from Jersey Shore. But yeah, now we're going into that deal. We made good conversation with Kathy, and we're talking, and the other party kind of just stopped. Right. So like Morris is his name. He's now coming in with us, but we're still acting like, hey, so how's the other party doing? Like Sujay knows the game too. Right. We're making an offer. We're like, okay, so we're gonna make an offer here at 10.5. Let us know what the other party's doing. The other party, our thing is like, okay, just tell them that you're not interested right now. You're looking at different assets there. So all of a sudden, Kathy comes back and says, "Oh, I think you guys are going to make a good run at this property at this price. You guys make a lot of sense." Sujay's been, working the relationship with her, talking about the price and about how he's an operator and it's a real, he can really make this happen. Brokers rather know that you have the ability to close. If they know you have, if you can make them believe that you have the ability to close, they will be more serious with you and they will be honest because they want to close this deal. Nobody wants a peanut factory to happen where you go and be dragged through the deal for $19 million and a year later you work the whole year and you're not getting paid as a broker. That broker needs to put food on the table and make money as well. That broker probably also drives a really nice car, has watches, has expenses and all of that he needs. She's looking to get a paycheck from this deal closing at some point in the future, in the near future. Not 2 years down the road, but like she's like, okay, 6 months. I think I'll get a check in 6 months on this deal. In order for that to happen, though, she needs a real buyer because it's going to take 5-6 months, 4 or 5 months to close this thing. So, but what if we went through all of that and then we're not even real buyers and, boom, dragged out even longer. Right. So now we're going into this deal with the other team. And this other guy's like, dude, I have professional athletes that invest with me. He's like, I was just going to have 2 of these guys just come in as the LP and buy the deal. I'm like, all right, let's do it together. We have the operations. We have the experience and we can operate and we can run this thing. And we're going to get it at $2-3 million cheaper than what you were just about to go get it at. Right? Bring the athletes. So, there's just, this is just one thing that's transpiring right now. And then we build a good relationship with Kathy. And now Kathy, no, you don't. So I'll share that in a second. I actually had Sujay, or we were underwriting that hotel 2 weeks ago on this call. And the numbers were pretty badass. Now I was a little bit off because I was trying to underwrite it like multifamily, but Sujay gave me the rundowns that you usually would just take the revenues, the total revenues, and you would just take 70% of that as expense. So and then for the purchase, you would just take like 3x at most 4x the revenue. So he has different ways to calculate it because hotel it's seasonal too. So there's a lot of factors that goes in there. Like you can't just look at the NOI and throw a cap rate in there. So I'll have him come on probably one of these days to underwrite hotels. He actually has a really great deal. Actually, we might be talking about it on this Saturday's Deal Tank call. He has a 2 hotel deal in Puerto Rico. So we're going to probably be looking at that too. Interesting. So yeah, and then we find out from Kathy, the broker for the downtowner, that the gold spike's going to come out more like 40 million. See, the other broker, a different broker that doesn't even know what's going on, he didn't get any of the piece of the deal. He kind of just was guessing that it was going to be 25 million. And I'm over here thinking, oh my God, 25 million, we're buying this thing, it's going to be a steal. And then now we realize, okay, it's more like 40 million. We're like, really? 40 million? You got to show us like some numbers. Now the place comes with a gaming license too. So that's very valuable. They don't have any, gambling going on in there. But, if you just stuck that stuck some of those machines on the bar, like the amount of money that they make with those things, just those things. There's entire bars and restaurants out here in Vegas that literally would just run off of 3 or 4 people that's consistently going in there playing. Like it's empty all the time. And it's just like they have their regulars that sit there, free drinks, free everything. And they just play like these little machines are on the bar. Because it's like right next to their house and they just survive off of that. And it pays the rent and everything. So, we get a gaming license with it, which would be pretty cool. Maybe put a couple. I think I would more like doing like sports betting in there instead of like tables and stuff because it probably gets rowdy. There's like big beer pong tables. There's a lot of like games, it's like for probably the younger crowd in there. It's a cool vibe though. It's always packed. Every night it's packed out. They have video games in there. They got a whole bunch of stuff in there. It's fun. Okay, I talked a lot for like 40 minutes straight. Questions? You're going to be in PR next week. Awesome. Who's going there? Is Alexis going to be in PR next week too? Is you going for that like Venus thing? Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
they're gonna it's the 22nd through the 25th. It's gonna be a big meetup there.
Nice. That's cool. That's cool. We're going to be at Brad's. So if you're going to Brad's, here is the WhatsApp chat that we're going to be
I
going.
wanna
Do
buy
you have any-
actually. Thank you.
Oh, you want to buy a ticket? Oh, wait, Nick, can you give me the link that Brad gave us? So these should be the cheapest prices out there. It's cheaper than what's on his website by like 50 to $100. I still gotta buy tickets. Totally forgot. Just procrastinating.
I have a question, Alex, in regards of the comments that you were talking about capital raisers and fund to
Taking too
fund.
long, Nick. Here. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fine. You were talking at the beginning of the Zoom the difference between capital raiser and fund to fund. So each of them are totally different things, or it's what is the difference between them?
So I was talking about a fund from institutions versus just raising from like retail, like institution versus retail.
Okay.
Yeah. So institutions are like pension funds, General Electric, some of these big companies, they all have, they allocate their money to invest too. Yeah.
Oh,
Pensions, retirement money and all and those.
gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah. They are always looking for operators. Okay, it's actually probably easier to get into this game than people think. I'm like, wait, so I have like 60 million asset under management, 70 million, and they're good with me managing be the CEO of a $250 million fund. He's like, yeah, you just need the right people in place. All right, so like 2 people coming in as on the board of advisor, they're going to be making 10 million. They're going to be investing 10 million. So we already have 10 million off the bat, and we're going to raise 250. So since it's the first fund, we're going to be like, for me personally, myself and Sujay, who I'm bringing in here, like we're not going to be taking any fees. I don't know if this is a mistake because this is kind of how I started in a multifamily space. My first deal, we're just like, yeah, pref equity 6% first year, 8% the year after. Everyone's like throwing money at us. I'm like, why are they doing that? Right. And now I know because we make $0. We're just running this deal making no money. And our investors right now are making 8% cash on cash, even more, a little bit more. And we make and after the 8% pref, is a 80-20 split. So like after all that, like for a whole year, like running the deal, making like $700. And our investors just getting, making a lot. So it's a really good deal. When we exit, obviously we'll get a good chunk because it's a 80-20 split then, and I think we will definitely be doing a 2-3x exit on that. Maybe a 3. We probably can already do a 2 right now in 1 year. Maybe we should, or recapitalize on that deal so we can make money. So I'm doing the same thing with the fund. Like, no, since I have no experience in the fund and all that, I'm not taking no acquisition fee, no asset management fee, no disposition fee. We're taking a salary. And the GP LP split is after anything above 28 AAR, annual returns. Like at the end of the fund, if we do more than 20% a year, anything on top of that, we will split 65-35. So I think it's another, for a fund that's $250 million that, we're going to get a salary. I think our salaries will probably be somewhere 120 to 300K a year. That's what we
Jeez.
were. Yeah. But to manage that much like assets for that, I don't think it's that much. I think it might be like, it might be a lot of work for me, but the good thing is I'm going to have access to that type of capital to do stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden AUM goes from, wherever I am to, I don't know, maybe I can hit $1 billion after this thing's all said and done.
More likely, yes.
Yeah. $250 million. You can get $1 billion of real estate from that. So, the fund will be structured, and I'm learning so much, and I just, I'll share as I go, but obviously take all of this with a grain of salt right now because I'm just sharing what I'm learning. I'm not sharing what I'm doing. I'm sharing what I'm learning. Okay, so just be clear on that right now. Is like we're on a journey together learning about the funds right now by being on this call together. I am not actively doing it. I don't have the experience or track record to be teaching it. I'm just sharing. So just to be very, very clear about that, that it's very much about the structure. Hey, Jay. Yeah, cool. We can talk about that. Yeah, so it might be, it might be something that more of you guys will do. And I hope that as I get into it, I can, really share and get you guys to be leveled up quicker too. That's the whole point of being, on these calls is you guys will see I'm not going to slow down. This weekend I just got invited to speak at a tech conference thing here on stage. I'm like, what? I'm gonna go on and talk about, I told him, I was meeting with one of the lead guys, and he's just really impressed at what I've been doing with real estate. And I'm part of this tech community here, and he's like, look, I want you to come and talk about you raising capital in real estate, and then we'll talk about the difference in the way the capital is raised. I'm like, ooh, okay, I'll do that. In venture, so like the tech space, it's called Tech Alley in Las Vegas, and it's about investing into startups. It's venture capitalists, it's investing into startups, businesses, like acquisition of businesses. And yeah, I would totally love to learn what that's all about. Like, how do they do it? Because real estate, we have numbers, we look at numbers, we can project returns. These, like investing into a startup, it just sounds so crazy to me. Because the more I'm surrounding myself with them, I'm like, dude, these guys are just reckless. Like they're investing into startups. Their success rate to like a really big success rate is like 1 in 300. I'm like, so you guys are investing 50K, 100K into all these businesses, just like, I know they get to bootstrap the business and help it, but your like success is like you're good with 1 out of 300 and you're just dropping 50K here, 50K there, 100K there. Like that's insane. real estate is safe. And I've also learned that institutions consider multifamily as the safest investment. You know, this is really important because now we know where we stand as well. You know, sometimes we get into it, we're like, wow, multifamily is risky. Like we see deals being lost right now. Okay, I know of a couple deals that are coming up that are going to be lost, that are going to be returned to the bank from reputable people and people that we know. Yeah. So, you know, it's not an easy game always, but you got to have like foresight and you got to look at real estate like a long game. You know, the downside of the fund, I think, is there's an end date. Year 7, 5 to 7, you're going to start offloading your properties. These funds, these pension funds and stuff, they're gonna, there's redemption. They want their money back. So hopefully in years 5 to 7, it'll be a good time to sell. See, I'm kind of understanding it from the other side now, right? Like Hawk, we're looking at a deal that is being exited from a fund. Now we're also looking at, why are they selling? See, this fund is selling at a $20 million loss on the property. Are we going to be able to pick it up? Chances are another fund is going to come and grab it, because from our perspective, it's really hard to make sense of it. But if I had a $250 million fund and I'm going to be like, okay, all cash, buy this thing, you know, knock another $6 million off, you know, make 26 million on the, since like how this property was built. It was built for 53 million, 54 million, and they're selling for 36, 34. If I come in all cash with a fund, I can probably buy this class A asset in DC in a sick location. You know, we might be able to get it for 30 million. All cash. Because they got to close. Berkshire's got to close their fund. They got redemption. So this is the downside of it is that. But I don't know. At that point, I mean, it's institutional money. This is what they want to do. Fine. You know, I'll take whatever I make. You know, so if we take this fund, and I think in real estate, especially if we had the power to buy like this, no doubt we can do 2x in 5 years. No doubt. All right. So if we can do 4, if we do 3x, like my cut in this whole thing will be somewhere around like $10 million in like 5 years. And then that doesn't include the salary that I'll get. Now, I don't know if the salary is probably, it's going to be a lot of work. You know, I'm going to be asset managing all these deals. I was like, wait, so the fund is buying the deals total. They're owning the entire thing. There's no GP, LP, nothing. The fund owns the entire thing. And usually you can charge 1%, you know, or 1.5% for asset management fee. And then you pay the property management company. So at least you make money there and you get a salary. We're taking the fees off. Fees is where usually, you know, you can make a living doing that. So managing a huge portfolio like that and only making 120,000 or 200, 300,000 a year. I mean, it's good, but like, will I have time to do anything else? So now I'm going to kind of become like an employee almost, right? Like I own, like I'm an employee again. I have a W-2. I'm like, fuck. But the good thing is this will be like my first real job ever. You know, when this happens, this is the first time I'll be employed with a W-2 with a salary. And I'll be able to kind of do and teach everybody else exactly what it takes. You know, whether you do, you know, you're making 120, 300,000, 50,000, the principle is the same with investing, you know? Okay. What other questions? We got 10 more minutes here. Yeah, Jay. So it's not like that we lose. It's just that since we're coming in new, I'm willing to take these types of for learning. You know, I'm willing to pay the price for learning. Even if this would cost me $1 million, I would pay to have this experience, to run a $250 million fund. I don't know. I don't know if you can just pay $1 million and learn this. No, you probably can't. Right. So we have this great opportunity, and it comes from, a year and a half, 2 years of my like just constant hard work day in, day out. Some of you guys have seen me for a long time doing this. There's definitely a lot of people that have seen me when I first came into this space. All right, Lewis, thanks. Have seen me from the start, like where I started from with like nothing, no followers, like nobody on these calls, what I was talking about to where we are now. And it's just like how hard we've grinded. Nick's been there from the start too. So like we've grinded together really, really hard. Every single day, calls every single day. I become nocturnal, get more done temporarily. Yeah, you got to sacrifice a little bit now so that you can have what you want later. And so I'm willing to pay the price to learn. Like I was like, whatever it takes. I make no money, don't worry about it. I raise all the money for this deal, I don't care. Right? I just want it in. I need to get in the door. Whatever that takes. So, a lot of people are not successful or moving really slow in the game because they're trying to figure out how to make money like right away. Get the experience, and then the money and the opportunities will come later. Because if I look back after all these funds, right? After, let's say 2, 3, 5 years down the road, I'm in like my third fund. We're doing, $1.9 billion funds going. I would look back and say, man, all the deals that I did in the multifamily space, I would do for free, knowing if I knew that this would be the chance that I had. So, we have to we have to think forward like that too. Yes, we got to pay some bills and we got to get our bills paid and we got to make money, but also focus on like the opportunities that are presented in front of you, who you're going to roll with, who you're going to spend your money on, right? Like who are you going to bet on? You bet on yourself, and you're also going to bet on a mentor. Who's going to lead me there? And that's why, like, I made my bet on Grant. I made my bet on Robert. I made my bet on Rod. I made my bet on, Chris Crone. Yeah, I got what I got out of there. Am I going to renew those masterminds? I don't know yet. Right? Because at some point they're going to be inviting me to the stages, and I won't need to be grinding for my networking. Everything will come to me. But right now, like knowing where you are, it's really important to know where you are so you know where to negotiate from, like how to get into deals certain ways. You got to know where you're at. If you're not in the position of power, you got to get track record. You got to get people behind you so that you can be at some point. Go ahead, Hector.
I noticed that you play all in when you do something. So because are many steps that you already took in order to be where you at. So what is making you, because that's what you're teaching us, be all in when we start something, but it's always the scare that it comes on your head. How you overcome those things to just go with it. It doesn't matter what's going to happen in the next step.
Yeah. For me, it's because I've done it so many times. I've gone all in so many times. I know what's on the other side. I'm not gonna die. Right? On the other side, like I'm not gonna die. So okay, I got enough evidence for me to say if I go all in, I'm still okay. Right? Like, and I'm not going all in like I'm gonna sell all my things and go all in like this. I'll go all in with my time and energy. I'm not gonna go all in with all my money. Right? Like that's a different play. That's now borderline irresponsible for my wife. I got a wife, I got a dog, I got, my mom, I got people depending on me. So I'm not going all in with my money. Just like I wouldn't go and say, hey, quit your W-2 job where you got responsibilities and go all in here. But how would you move the needle forward every day so you can at least first replace that? Right? Say it be 3,000 a month. right? A lot of people making 3,000 a month, it would be huge. It would change their life. That if they just made 3,000 a month on the real estate side and still doing what they're doing, it would change everything. But then what's 20 grand a month look like? Right? I've put myself in a position that I can go all in, but I'm going all in like kind of still like safe. If I didn't die in Peru, I actually really lived when I went to Peru. But yeah, even that was all in. You know, that was a whole crazy story of how I ended up in Peru. I sold everything and we were just going to go and road trip. Sold everything in Florida and we were going to go road trip. And I didn't have a home, nothing. I was sitting in my car with my dog with all my belongings. And then all of a sudden, Love can't move, can't come back to the States. She's stuck in Canada. I'm like, dude, I'm supposed to pick you up at the airport. We're supposed to go pick up our RV that I put a down payment on. Lost the down payment because I can't pick that up now. I bought a truck. I got rid of my car and got a brand new truck so we can tow this RV. Cost me $800 a month plus $600 a month in insurance because it was Florida. And then, you know, all of that. And then we're like, okay, where are we going to go? It's COVID. Peru's open. The Bahamas is open. Mexico's open. Pick one. I'm like, yeah, let's go Peru. You know, the Celestine Prophecy was one of the most amazing books I ever read when I was younger. Always wanted to go to Peru. Let's go. And then I drove my car up to New Jersey from Florida. I dropped my dog off with a friend, paid them $800 a month. Now I got a truck that I bought, $800 a month, $600 a month for insurance. Now my dog is going somewhere, $800 a month. Going to Peru cost me almost $2,000 plus just by going to Peru every month. So when people were like, "Oh, so you just like, you know, you didn't spend any money while you're in Peru?" I'm like, "Yeah, when I was in Peru, it still cost me 6,000 a month." They're like, "How are you living in the village and spending 6,000 a month?" Because I have all those responsibilities here in the States. My car just sitting there for like a year. So, you know, yeah, going all in is fun. But I'm going all in with my time and my energy and my trust and my faith. Kathy says Grant saying Vegas is one of the cities that he does not like. Yeah, we'll see about that. Vegas just, okay, in August, on August 13th, was declared the highest migration, the city, highest migration. Beat out Houston. Also, the highest single family house searches on Redfin, Las Vegas. So there's a lot of stuff happening here. I don't care what he says. Maybe he's saying it, and the next day you're going to see Grant buying a whole bunch of things here. I promise you, that's probably what's going to happen. He always says, yeah, I'm going to say all this shit until I don't. Right? Don't get anything stupid. Don't ever. He's like, don't ever buy a random house that you live in. Buy a house you live in. Next day, he goes and buys a $60 million house cash. Oh, I'm not saying I don't do. I'm saying you don't do it. So, you know, you got to take everything with a grain of salt from, you know, why would he say the things he's saying? You know, that's also another one. Grant's capital call last night. Yeah. I mean, why did Grant come to Vegas and do a TV show about the real estate here? I don't know. He didn't go to any random cities that aren't attractive. Right? Houston, Vegas, Nashville. Why did he go to those places? Miami? Why did he pick Vegas as one? And now he's saying Vegas is not a city he doesn't like. We'll see. Maybe he comes here and loses too much money gambling. Who was at GrowthCon? GrowthCon, literally the first day of GrowthCon, He said him and Brandon Dawson lost like 2.5 million playing blackjack. And we didn't even get to the second night. It was the first night. We just got there. First day of the conference. And we saw Grant multiple times at the late night by himself in the high roller area playing blackjack by himself in there. Brandon Dawson also just playing blackjack, wasted in the casino. It was funny. So yeah, okay. Any last questions before we wrap it up? I wanted to give you guys an update. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of insight on your conversations, your negotiations with brokers, things like that. It's this is all a game. Right? Don't take us super seriously. Money is a game. When you can start to play, like think of everything as a playing and it's a game, it won't be as heavy. And you'll be funner to work with. Right? Like on the Ogden deal, this $5 million deal, you know how many legends are on the GP table there? 16. Because that's what I want. I want everyone to know how to operate a deal. So when I get to a place, maybe when I get into this fund, I can decide where the money goes. Would I put it with somebody that is operating, that has been taught and operated with me and has, track record with me, does the investor relations with me, operating the deal with me? Wouldn't that be where I would be investing with? Yeah, definitely. Over anybody else. Because I taught these guys. And it's not even just about the doing. We can all learn the doing. It's freaking easy. It's not that hard. It's your integrity, it's who you are. And that's what matters. Like your values and all of these things that really truly matter. That's going to be the difference in how you show up as an operator. Do you operate with honesty, transparency, abundance mindset? Because when people are in scarcity mindset, when you're feeling scarce, that's when you might compromise yourself or the deal. Those are the times when those things happen. So, like, how much I want to know all the people on our team. People that have shown up, stepped up, because they're 65 people in the group. Some have shown up, stepped up, and then some just kind of faded away, and I do my best to pull them back. And maybe they will. Maybe I haven't inspired or motivated them enough. Right? But I guarantee you, if I have a fund of $250 million, they're all going to be back. I promise you.
Well, what I can tell you by experience, Alex, you really inspire many people. I can tell one of the reasons I didn't invest in Vegas was because my insecure, pretty much. But you really inspired a lot of, I mean, every time that you teach us anything, I can tell that you come with the true heart. I mean, it's nothing hiding, transparent. So I think it's not about you. It's about we still an experience and we're not ready sometimes.
Yeah.
To do it.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, like it's always, and you hang around me long enough, you're gonna get some of this, like this juju, right? This feeling of genuineness and just sharing. And I want people to be like that. If you hang around me long enough, like you will start to get some of that too. And I'll get some of your stuff. And that's the fun thing. Like, Nick's been hanging out with me for like a year. The way he sees money, definitely not the way any other teens see money. He's way advanced. So yeah. And I appreciate where everybody's at. If you're here, like it's an honor to be sharing this space with you. And I'm always an invitation to join me in anything that I'm doing. Like I never want to go anywhere by myself. You can ask my wife. She's like, you don't want to do anything by yourself. I'm like, yeah, I don't. I don't want to do anything by myself. The more the merrier. Hey, Harley. The more the merrier. You know, when we go on vacations, I'm like, I want all our friends to come with us. Everywhere I go, we go to Brad's event. I'm like, let's go. Let's go in a group. Let's go in a tribe. Let's have a meetup. Let's meet more people. You know, the more we stick together, the more people we can influence and the more people will want to be around us. And I tell our team all the time, I tell our group, I'm like, look, everybody knows legends, respects legends, and loves legends because of you guys. You guys are all the representation of us. The first day that you join, you know, I'm like, the first thing I say is that you're representing more than yourself now. Like getting that responsibility, that's the first step to like team. That you are no longer representing yourself. So you show up better. You show up in more excellence. Wherever you go, you represent yourself better because it's not just you anymore. Other people's reputation depends on you. So, yeah, that's it. Let's see. There's some messages here. Okay, cool. Yeah, you guys, you do have my calendar, so feel free to just schedule calls, things like that. Let me see. I'll put it on here because we don't have a lot of people. It's cool. It's good to share here. Boom. Welcome anybody to I beat you again, Nick. Oh wait.
You did it.
I
You
s-
did it. You
No, I
did
sent it to I sent it privately to somebody.
it.
But come on, man. All right.
My internet's slow.
Last thoughts. Hey, Allie, I hear you did a great job last week. I'm still waiting for Nick to get
It was
the
awesome. No,
underwriting.
it's on the replay. It's on
I
YouTube.
know. You just sent
Yeah.
it.
I did say too much though.
Did you hear how many times I said tonight?
I don't think you did really say a lot.
Well, because you shared that's something that I used to hear myself all the time too. Like, man, how many times am I gonna say
Yeah, I'm gonna work on that. I
Yeah.
rewatched the replay and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
But it was really fun. So thank you for letting me do that.
I know you went from
Oh.
you went from not speaking in front of people to like now you're gonna be a pro.
All because of you, Alex.
Well,
And
because
Nick.
you said yes. So yeah, last announcements. If you are not a part of our Mighty Networks, here is the link. Definitely be a part of it. This is super cool. You know, the it's being built up. Like it's just really cool. I'll just show you guys it real quick. So here I go. This is so it's Legends use the Mighty Network. We have obviously our own private mastermind. This you won't see if you guys join, but the Deal Tank community is really cool. This is where me, Sujay, and Chris come together, and this will be Saturday morning at 11. And we're starting to have smaller breakout rooms. Okay, what time are these smaller breakout rooms meeting? My goal here is to empower and showcase. I want to showcase people. Like events are here. So like you see like our legends like Spanish call, Deal Tank call, my Course of Miracles call, Rochelle's Cash Flow call, there's call, Rookie Roundtable, Steph's Ladies Night. You know, like you get a chance to when you're a part of it. Nick now has his own little social media mastermind. That's really awesome. My friend, it's off the chains. Everyone's saying it's off the chains. This quantum AI community is also off the chains. This is incredible. Like I've learned so much. My new best friend is ChatGPT. Because I didn't really know how to use it before until she started teaching. And now she's putting like, you know, how to use Mid Journey. Oh, look at that. She wrote Mind. Interesting. And then we have our fit community, Legends Fit community, which Allie is going to be doing a challenge, a cardio challenge of, you know, it's going to be really awesome.
Yes.
Look, somebody just joined.
I'm excited about that.
Yes. And myself and Coralie are teaching an amazing, amazing class. This thing changed my life. Clarity Catalyst. We will be opening registration in about a week for our next journey. And then, of course, the multifamily mastery course is going to start September 5th. Nick, if you want to put that link in here, or do I have the
Good,
link?
I got it. I got it.
You got it? Let's see. Let's see who's faster.
I'm faster. Hold on, wait. I was private messaging.
Nope. I beat you.
I beat you on my screen though.
No, you didn't.
My screen. Yeah, it
Lies.
was close. I had to move out of the direct message. I would.
So this multifamily mastery course is a 12-week course. You have to come with a buddy. Okay. You need to bring an accountability buddy with you. 2 people, $500. It's ridiculously cheap for what is going to be offered in there. And you'll be joining a community, which will be cool. And it'll probably be the only time that I'm teaching it live, because afterwards it's going to be a pre-recorded course. So enjoy that while it lasts. It starts September what? 5th, Nick?
September 5th, Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Let's see. It
Right
will be
there.
on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. You'll be joining this with, there will be a lot of Legends members in here. You're going to learn a lot of stuff. It's just next level. We made 30 modules. Can we cram 30 modules into 12 weeks? Let's see. Okay. So that's it. That's all. Yes, Clarity Catalyst is amazing. Allie is a part of it. She can attest. And it's funny because this past week I forgot to record, and I had to find a recording of the first time that I taught it, which was like 1,000 webinars ago. So they get to see that. And Love, who is my wife now, was my student there in that call. I mean, in that course. She was one of my first students. And then now we're married. How crazy. All right. That's it. That's all now. Thank you all for hanging around for so long. And Rochelle, it's so good to see you. And Allie, you too. Everybody. Really good to see you guys. Jonathan, Hector, thank you guys all for being here. Heather, John, Hawk, Peter, Olu, Muhammad, Jay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a fantastic night. See you guys on Saturday. Deal Tank. Don't forget.
See you Saturday.
All right, bye, everyone.